Before we get into X-Men number 24 from back in the day, I just gotta ask you, like, this pretty memorable kiss, right? I knew about this image just from, you know, being into comics, but I never knew, like, what issue it was from or whatever. But let me just ask you, pretty memorable, right? Stands the test of time. But is it more memorable than the kiss from Jeepers Creepers 5? This shit is fucking nightmare fuel, and I need more people to see it. So, I just asked you which one. I mean, I feel like this one's hotter. Maybe because there's blood. Maybe it's hot sauce. Maybe it's got some Cajun seasoning in it. But then Remy's lips are just full of Cajun seasoning. So, if you don't know, these two crazy kids are married now, so them not touching each other is sort of, you know, canon for married life. But, you know what, let's just take it back. Let's see what these crazy kids are up to. And comment below which kiss is more memorable. And if you don't say Jeepers Creepers, get the fuck out of here, because this is what it's all about. Now let's just see what the very first thing is we see in this you know, this romantic, sensual. I feel like I should have lit candles, but I don't have candles. I'm a terrible woman. So we see this, oh yeah, raging fighter. Nothing gets me more in the mood for some lovin' than some roundhouse kicking to some fat pieces of shit. That's my foreplay. As I have a little, you know, some Moscato. I hit the streets. I find a homeless piece of shit. I tell him to take his shirt off. He thinks, hey, maybe it's his lucky day. No, you're getting a fucking roundhouse fierce kick to the goddamn jaw, and then I'm gonna leave with whoever I came with. But this, yeah, it's just like, it's fucking weird and a terrible Game Boy game at that. But let's just see. Okay, we've got our two people here. Hot enough. Is it hot enough? I don't know. I mean, not as hot as that Devon Creeper kiss, but we're just gonna see if they can even get close. So, we're here at Papa Gumbo's Cajun Cookout Restaurant in Manhattan's Greenwich Village. Okay, now let's just get some shit out of the way, alright? Because I've never been to Greenwich Village. I've never been to Manhattan. I don't think I've ever knowingly been in a Cajun restaurant. But this shit is not a Cajun restaurant. Like, I feel like, okay, it's in Manhattan, so it's still, like, fancy. It's in Greenwich Village, but I feel like they would have like, a prawn mascot or some terrible wall art or something. I mean, that's how restaurants in the South do it. If you just were suddenly hit with amnesia or something, and you just blacked out and then you reawaken and you didn't know where the fuck you were. If you just look at the wall art in a restaurant, then you'll get a sense of where you are. And I just assume every other restaurant does it, especially a fucking gumbo restaurant in New York. I mean, it's got to be kitsch. Like, what is this? What is this? Something's not adding up here. Also, gumbo probably sucks ass. I'm just saying I've never had gumbo, but I feel like it's close to chili in terms of food, and chili also sucks ass. So if you're a firefighter, fuck off, because I feel like they're always talking about fires, and they're always talking about chili, and it's like, guys, I need you to set more fires to some forests or something so you have something to do, because I cannot take hearing about your special seasonings. No, I wouldn't think that your chili would have Chesapeake Bay seasoning. It's fucking disgusting smelling, but I can't hear it anymore. Please stop. And if you are a firefighter, or, you know, just like your family wants to express these thoughts to you, but they can't because everyone knows that firefighters are the number one occupation of domestic violence. Nobody ever talks about how many firefighters just lose it and take axes to their wives and they smear chili in the wounds. But we see this. Oh no. Please don't let them be breaking up in the middle of the gumbo restaurant. It's fine. It's just the gumbo is hot. I don't know if it should be hot. I don't know the rules of fucking gumbo. But let's just get a context of what's going on here. Ilyana, Colossus' sister, she's died due to some virus, you know, this plague. I already did that issue. It's very heartbreaking. And it makes me think Jubilee maybe isn't a barnacle on the entire comic book industry. But I'm not completely sold on that, so let's just keep that in mind. She's not as terrible as you think, but she's still Jubilee, so... So they're feeling pretty bad. And look at this. I feel like Gambit, he's sort of smugly eating gumbo, which I didn't know was possible. And I feel like it's weird that his hair is like this. Like, dude, you know what the fuck you're supposed to look like. And this ain't it. I don't know who the fuck this is. This could be anybody. I don't know who the fuck you are. But he's basically saying, like, look, we can't just be crying all the damn time about this. I mean, kids are gonna die regardless. Let's have some of this Papa Gumbo's gumbo in Manhattan. It's fantastic. Also, I gotta point out, her threads are a fucking choice. I feel like it's completely wasted on this weak-ass gumbo restaurant, but I gotta tell you, it's some advanced level play when it comes to fashion, but I also would like to point out these two are the weirdest fucks in this entire restaurant. I mean, we got these people, but with this like filigree sleeve she's rocking, we get a better look at it right here. I mean, she should be somewhere that isn't a gumbo restaurant. So, Gambit, he laughs, which this isn't an image that would denote laughter whatsoever. So she comments about how he never laughs. He just sounds like he's whistling through gritted teeth. It's the Cajun seasoning that he has to pop in his mouth all the time. Like, it's like, you know how people dip tobacco? He dips Cajun seasoning, and it's fucking, sometimes it's Old Bay, and that's too much Old Bay. That's like, oh, god damn. So, he's trying to cheer her up a little bit. It's like, hey, when a kid dies, you have gumbo, as is custom in the mutie community. And she brings up, how come you never talk about your wife, Belladonna? It's like, hey, Rogue, I'm trying to have an affair with you right now. Don't bring up my fucking wife, you weirdo. So he comes back with the, why doesn't anybody know your real name? I just assumed that was her real name. We're all learning stuff here. But then she comes back with, why don't you tell me how you feel about me? Holy shit, she brought that shit up to like the hilt right there. It's like, hey, tell me your name. Tell me about your feelings. Like, holy shit, can we pump the brakes on this in the middle of the goddamn gumbo restaurant? But he hits her with the hardest hit back. Why won't you ever let me show you? Probably because her skin is fucking cancer. So then they just stare at each other in the middle of the gumbo restaurant, just reminding us that they are the weirdest motherfuckers in here. Like, honestly, they're just staring at each other in the middle of a restaurant. I mean, it should be jovial. Should be something, but no. Also, I forgot to mention, Rogue did, yeah, this is her spitting out the gumbo, because she knows. She knows that shit's whack. And then there's a lot of pages of people dealing with Ilyana's death and stuff, and you know, we're not here for that. We're here for these two crazy kids. Are they going to make it? So I'm going to skip all that shit, because it really doesn't matter. Nobody gives a shit. But I do have to include my boy Scott is in this. If you forget, in the last issue, I think, or the close to the last issue of this, he ran off to Alaska to find himself, which don't do that. There's nothing there for you. There's nothing there for anyone. Except for oil. Even then, it's really tough to get. Because they're like, look, all we have is nature. And if you take nature, it doesn't matter if you pay us for the oil. There's nothing to spend our goddamn money on. All our money's wrapped up in nature shit, and if you destroy that, then what? I'm a fucking millionaire and I got nothing to do? Because I feel like once you move to Alaska, that's it. That's all. You're done. You're not allowed to relocate after that. Whatsoever. Except for all those guys on those fucking gold rush shows that just go up there in the summertime. It's like, no, dude. Commit. Live that life. So, Gene is picking up Scott from the airport, and he's like, what the fuck, bitch? Where are you? You said you were gonna pick me up. Also, why haven't you telepathically let me know that you are here already? Rude as fuck. But it's all this stuff is like, oh, will their love survive? Because you know what? We're hoping that Gambit and Rogue make it, but then we got these two solid people who Gene doesn't know what's up because you ran off to Alaska. Like, what the fuck? Can I depend on you? Who would even think to go to Alaska for anything? I don't know, Scott. Maybe you're fucking losing it. So then eventually he sees her, but you know what? No, nobody needs to worry. Because they immediately lock lips here. And you know, that's what happens. If you pick someone up from the airport, you have to make out with them. That's why nobody ever wants to pick people up from the airport. It's like, I don't want to make out with you when I see you. Also, Jane should have had a sign. And it should have just had one eyeball on it. Come on, that's fucking gold, what I just said. So they have a lot of, like, they're reconciling. Oh, I'm sorry. Whatever. Just promise me that we'll always find each other. Yeah, I mean, there's not that many mutants. And literally all Scott has to do is take off his glasses, beam those peepers up into the sky, and she'll be able to find him. I mean, if we just completely disregard her telepathic link to this man. And then he promises he's never going to leave again, which I don't think he dies. Cyclops dies, but that's a real, like, he should definitely die when he says that shit. We got some stuff with the double Psylocks. We got some stuff with Logan. Who cares? I do want to point out this. We've got, oh jeez, I didn't even realize that Magneto silhouette lurking down in the background. We see Jubilee. She's still trying to come to terms with this, you know, a kid died, and she's also pretty close to a kid. But, as we all know, dead kid, free doll. In that Uncanny X-Men issue, there's this whole thing where Illyana, she's like, they put a helmet on her and keep her in a comatose state before she ultimately succumbs to the plague virus, you know. And Jubilee, there's a whole scene that's actually pretty good where she's like, look, everything's falling apart around us. I just want to make sure she has her doll. Little did we know, Jubilee was playing the, not long game, but like mid-game, where she's like, look, if I pretend to give her the doll, it's gonna be fine when I want to keep it for myself. Because look, this is a one-of-a-kind Banff doll. Okay. Dead kid free doll. I'm just saying, a kid dies, you could probably, you know, get some of their stuff while the people are grieving immediately. Then she throws it, and she's crying, it doesn't matter. But then we get back to who we're here for. It's Gambit and Rogue. They're on a handsome cab ride, which that just makes me think of Seinfeld. Makes me think that this horse had some beefaroni. Makes me think that's going to be an issue. So she's like, oh my god, I'm like Cinderella. And I just feel like it's weird that he's there. Like, can they just have, also they're both wearing green. I don't know if they set that up, but good look. Good look. I mean, I feel like a lot of couples, they do the Twinkies thing. It's not cool. I feel like they pull it off pretty well. But he asks her where she wants to go. Anywhere you do. Oh, God. Oh, no. Getting real heavy. It's like always heavy with these people. But, you know, she talks about how can't get a kiss. He calls her Rogie, which is like, makes me think of pierogies, which is not what you want to be doing. If they get fucking close. No, she shuts him down. And if this was current year, he would immediately turn into a nice guy and start calling her a whore. But then they have this moment where they're just like, look, we can't kiss. And Gambit's like, I'm willing to put in the work. And I just wish we could tell them about the advancements in latex suits. Have you seen that shit? It's really weird, and I know it's sexual, but I don't get it. People, they vacuum seal themselves in latex suits. Just have one of them do that, and you're good to go. Just good to get in there. Get all up in there. But I feel like in 93 or 94, they didn't have the technology. Somebody had the dream, but it wasn't quite realized yet. Also, I feel like they could do some, like, weirdo, is it Judge Dredd, where they do, like, the telepathic fucking? I feel like if they wanted to make it happen, they could do it. But Gambit, he's willing to go all in. He's like, look, I don't care if it hurts me. I want those lips. But, you know what? But then he says, you know what? Maybe it'll work out better in the long run. Yeah, get used to not kissing or being romantic with each other at all, because in about 20 years, or 30, Jesus, you're going to get married. And, Jesus. And then she almost busts out her real name as a sign of like, oh, I really trust you, but then he shuts it down. It's like, no, I want to know it now. I didn't even know that Rogue wasn't a real name. I'm invested, and now you shut it down? Gambit. Come on, man. And then, we get some more stuff with the other guys. It doesn't matter, but I just want to point out Cyclops. He's rocking that shit. He's rocking. It's like thick black pinstripes, which is totally incorrect language, but I don't know. It works. It works today. For me still. And we see Logan and Jubilee, And we get this advertisement for Pizza Hut. Pizza with all the extras. And we see these fucking wicked cups and personal pizza pan boxes, and I just know there's some weirdo out there that collected all all of these and still uses them today. So if that's you, you gotta put that shit in the trash. Maybe keep a cup. But if you're keeping empty pizza boxes because they have X-Men on it, what are you doing that for? Who are you trying to impress? Because nobody's gonna be impressed with that shit. Not even you. Honestly, you want to throw them out, but something's keeping you, holding you back, and I'm giving you permission to throw them away. Throw them away. Don't even lick the grease, the 30-year-old grease, because it's sad. And you're like, oh, only I'll know. No, Lindsay will know. Don't do that. And then we end on, we don't even end on some Gambit and Rogue stuff. We end on Jean and Cyclops, because, you know, that's the real team. They're going to make it, because they can touch each other. I feel like that's going to come to play. And they end on, you know, they're getting pretty damn close. Also, I forgot, at some point somebody calls each other lover. I can't remember if it's Jean to Scott, or Scott to Jean, or Rogue to Gambit, or Gambit to Rogue. But I feel like, yeah, you're not going to do that today. You're not going to call somebody lover in a comic book today. I'll admit, it's kind of weird, but definitely, because the comics are like asexual shit now, so I don't know. But it ends with, no one on Earth will ever take that from us. No one, except for Giant Magneto, because he's going to get you every time. So, I mean, like, as far as sexiness goes, I think Jeepers Creepers 5 was just sexier in general. This didn't even happen. They got really close, but then they couldn't pull the trigger on their love. But it's cool, because they're going to get divorced, like, next month, and he'll be out there just plowing the field, just plowing it. Getting his little muty seeds everywhere. I mean, how does Gambit not have like 15 illegitimate children, if we're going to be honest here? I mean, if we're going to be really honest. Like, honestly.